What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for another good morning Tottenham. Very successful night for Tottenham last night in the Europa Conference League as Spurs sailed through into the group stages. The draw is coming today, actually. It very well could be on this stream as well if we go long enough. But in terms of the game last night, how did you kind of assess what happened on that pitch last night?
It's hard to assess too much or make too many conclusions, but I think the way the link-up between Gil, Lo Celso, Kane, especially in the forward areas, was delightful. I was really enjoying that. The creativity from especially Lo Celso and Gil was definitely a lot better than it was last week. Maybe with better players around them, that was a consequence of having, you know, a poacher with movement and stuff like that in and around the penalty area. You got to say they really started to shine yesterday. Like, even though Lucas maybe didn't have the best game and Sessegnon wasn't maybe having the best game, just them being making movement in behind and being an option allowed Gil and Lo Celso to really express themselves creatively. Especially Gil, who I felt was really hard to deal with for Pacos, and he was, you know, floating in all these awkward spaces which they didn't know how to deal with him, and I think that's how the first goal came. You know, he drifted onto left hand side, and whereas last week he's kind of been set on the left hand side, so, you know, the right back knows he's got to mark him in that position. Because he's was given that free roll, when he drifted in there, no one knew the centre back didn't know, or the centre mid didn't know to follow him in that position. No Pacos player knew to follow him, and that gave him a lot more space. And obviously there was Harry Kane to finish in the centre, and that's what maybe he can bring in that free role. Bryan Gil potentially. We have to wait and see if it's something that he's going to be used in the future, because it requires either two sitting midfielders probably in against better opposition for sure, because if he's given a free role without much defensive responsibility, all of a sudden it requires the two sitting midfielders to take up a lot more responsibility defensively, and also potentially, but they need to. But then we've been playing 4-3-3, haven't we? So Daddy hasn't been given a free role. He's been being in the centre, actually less than a free role. He's been very disciplined in the past first 2 weeks. So whether we want to interrupt at 4-3-3, put Gil in a free role, and then be a lot more creative and attacking, we have to wait and see how Nuno sees that. So it's going to be difficult maybe in the better games to find him play that role, I feel. But it was definitely a great performance yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, as the season progresses, I mean, the team will kind of develop as well. I think that I think we'll see the same midfield three for the next two games before the international break. Then potentially after the international break, I can see Nuno switching up and trying new things as well. But yeah, I mean, it was a good performance all round, to be honest, last night. There was poor performances maybe from Sessegnon and Doherty. Sessegnon, for me, again, flattered to deceive, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he struggled. I think Nuno admitted after the game he struggled, and he didn't quite. I think didn't have like a shocker or by any means, but he just struggled to really assert himself in the game.
He struggled to make like a real positive impact in the game.
That's the thing. Like he wasn't like having a shock, like every pass was going out of play or anything like that, or like miscontrolling and a bunch of things. That wasn't happening. But it's kind of like when he got the opportunity to square up a fullback, he didn't have the confidence to burst past him. When he had the opportunity to put it across, the quality wasn't quite up to standard. When he was linking up with Brian Gil, Gil was moving all around the place, doing little short passes, where Sessegnon was kind of playing the safe option, sticking out wide, wasn't kind of maybe taking a bit of risk in his play. And I felt like I was a bit disappointed in that aspect. And he just, again, it feels like a confidence thing with him. He just didn't have that confidence with himself to say, I'm better than that fullback, or I can really make a big impact. I'm going to get an assist in this game, or I'm going to get, how many shots did he have? I don't, playing left wing in that position, a very attacking position, you expect him to either, what was he so good at Fulham? Arriving at the back post and getting on the end of things. He nearly did that with, in the first half when Lo Celso put the ball across the face of goal. But that was the only time we really saw that from Sessegnon. And, we haven't just seen those qualities from him just yet. And as Nuno said, that he feels like he's got a lot more to give than at the moment. And you've got to remember he was injured in pre-season and he's maybe playing catch-up. But we still need to see more from him for sure.
I always feel like not everyone, but people... there's always excuses for Ryan Sessegnon. Oh, he's just coming back from injury. He's just coming into the team. I mean, he's been around for a while now. Obviously, he had that loan at Hoffenheim. Yes, he's still very young and has got time on his side. So I do call for patience. But as well, it's hard to give him that patience because every time we've seen him on the pitch, there's no real signs of progress. That's the problem with him.
We haven't seen too many good performances in a Spurs shirt, that's the truth. So maybe it's the weight of the price tag, maybe he's not as good as we thought, maybe he's struggled with injuries ever since he's come to Spurs, to be honest. He came injured, he got a big injury last season with Hoffenheim, he started this summer injured, so maybe he just needs to get to 100% fit and maybe we'll see the best of him, but at the moment, so you can't argue against the fact that it's not working out for him at the moment.
Yeah. Definitely. Christian Romero making his second start. Obviously, his first start was the the away game against Passos. Yesterday, I thought it was much, much better from him, wasn't it?
Yeah, and he much improved. I feel like with the better defenders around him and a better structure in the back, he definitely was more comfortable. He was much more able to be aggressive and win the ball back without the fear of him losing it and then being caught out in behind, which obviously happened a couple times in the first leg. And, we was always also able to show a lot more quality on the ball than he was last week. That pass for Harry Kane within 20 seconds was absolutely pinpoint. That was Toby-esque. Right on Harry Kane's, right on a sixpence for Harry Kane, who should have scored really. And I felt like the amount of times we saw Romero in the opposition half, he just had confidence to fly forward and be that aggressive.
So aggressive, even in their own half, even in their own box.
Yeah.
I mean, he was just flying up there. I remember just a random point during the game in the second half, like it didn't even come from a set piece or anything. We were just like attacking them in their own penalty box, and he was just flying up there.
Yeah, and I'm glad he felt comfortable to do that, which maybe he didn't feel comfortable in the first leg to do. So there are definitely improvements there, and a lot of people were like questioning him after the first leg. I always thought I saw enough good stuff in that first leg to say it's just a one-off bad performance, but. Still very early days in his Tottenham career, and one good performance doesn't rule out a bad performance. But you got to say, definitely a lot of quality shown, and I'm sure. I don't think he'll start on Sunday, but I'm sure he's going to be a big player for us this season.
I think as well. Yeah, I agree. I think if Dyer and Sanchez stay kind of mistake-free, which they have done so far by and large, I think they start this weekend. If they stay mistake-free against Watford, they put in against Palace. But I do feel, regardless of mistakes, I feel Romero will come in after the international break.
Yeah, because I think after the international break, it's another chance to kind of reassess and reset. Maybe players come back with niggles or whatnot, or it depends. I have a feeling Nuno's has his merit-based system, so I have a feeling that if Sanchez and Dyer are playing well, I don't think he's going to drop them for no reason. I've got that feeling, so I don't think I think Romero's going to have to earn his place in that instance. I feel that's what I get the feeling with Nuno. So I don't think, it depends how the Sunday goes. I don't necessarily think he definitely comes straight in.
No, like I said, I think he does. I think it will happen after the international break, but we'll have to see what happens. But look, it was a good, dominant display last night. Definitely much different to the first leg. Yes, it was a better side. It was great to have Harry Kane back, that's for sure. 2 goals on his return. So you got to commend the team for the way they, not just the way they played, but the application and the mentality that they showed on the pitch, because it's so easy to dismiss these kind of games, isn't it? Not as a fan base and as a footballer on the pitch. How many times have we seen it? How many times did Mourinho say it last year that these players feel like they're too good to play in these games? And this game was even worse than those kind of games. So, performances out there from Harry Winks, who's been accused of that in the past. I thought Ben Davies was all right. Harry Winks was good. Like I said, good performance from majority of players on the pitch yesterday. Yeah,
we completely battered them. They had one chance pretty much for the whole game, which was in the second half when I believe it was Lucas Silva went through on goal and should have really scored, but Galini made a good save. I guess for you can see there was definitely a different approach to the game than there was last week. Maybe because last week was a weaker side that was on the pitch, and you kind of felt like it was a bit more disjointed than it was yesterday. I felt like it was a lot more cohesive. I feel like the players were up to speed with what Nuno wanted a lot more than they were last week. So it's hard to say, but put your finger on exactly why. But there definitely was a lot more aggression and a lot more. There was definitely a lot more aggression, a lot more coordination with the press and things like that. Every time the ball was in the Pacos half, you saw how high we stepped up and how aggressive we were on the Pasos defenders. And that was definitely a difference between that. Last week there was pretty much no pressing or anything on the back line, and we didn't put them under any pressure. And we saw how much joy we got, how many times Pasos gave it away in their own defensive third, and we were able to pinch it off them. And that just wasn't a feature of the game last week. So definitely there was an increase in work rate, and you got to say it paid off.
Yeah, definitely. The draw for the Conference League, I see a few people are talking about it, will be starting at 12:30. So we'll see if we're still on air by then, but I'm not too sure about that. But it is coming to you at 12:30, but we will bring you a video, that's for sure, on the draw. Shall we have a look at Nuno's press conference last night? From last night.
Yeah, let's see. I haven't actually watched it yet. Let's see what he has to say.
Yeah, I watched it last night, but let's get it on.
Yeah. Go. I can't hear it.
Hi, Nuno. Congratulations on the win. What was your assessment? Thank you. What was your assessment performance?
I think we played a good game since the beginning. Since the first minute, where we didn't allow any kind of chances. We play good movements. We scored early, makes things easier. Then we score again. I think the game was every moment in control. Good individual performances. Good play. In the second half, controlling the game and creating chances. I think we could. We had too many clear chances that we should do better, but really pleased with the way we played today.
Yes, you must finally be pleased to be able to talk about Harry Kane for what he's been on the pitch. What did you make of his performance today? Obviously, it's for the start of the season.
I think he played good. He scored. He had good movements. He helped the team in possession. Out of possession, kept his shape. Reaction to loss of the ball. He's still improving, but I think playing is the best way for all the players to improve, compete, and the edge of the game was what takes the players out of their and going beyond their limits. This is what we expect from all of them.
And just last one from me. Obviously, you had a great reception from the crowd. Can you just sort of tell us how he's feeling with that and, and 2 goals scored?
I think it was good. I think our fans are amazing, the support they have and they give for all of us. Even in the training sessions that we had here, the energy we can see. And this is what we want, this bond between us as a team, for them to enjoy. We give everything that we have and them supporting and enjoying themselves in the stands. So creating this energy is good for us.
Thanks, Jonathan. Alistair Gold, please.
Hi there, Nuno. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Just want to follow up on that about the fans. They seem to have connected with you quite quickly. Obviously, that doesn't always happen with managers. You seem to have already struck up quite a bond with them.
I do. I only can say I'm very thankful. I'm very, very thankful for all the support and interceptions that they give us in the streets. I'm working for Tottenham. I'm an employee, and I do whatever I can to help the team.
Can I just ask you, 2 of the midfielders maybe had a bit of a tougher time last week in Portugal, Harry Winks and Giovanni Lo Celso. Both had very good games tonight. What did you make of them?
I think they play good. They play good. I think it was a different midfield. Tonight was Harry, Gio, and Brian. Energy. This is what we wanted. We had it, and I think they controlled the middle of the pitch. I honestly believe games is what makes us grow as a team. So having this competition, the Conference League, these games, we must use them well to grow as a group of players, as a group of people that working together in the same direction. So well pleased, really pleased with all of the boys, yes.
Thanks, Nuno.
Thanks, Ali. Duncan Wright, please.
Hi, Nuno. Just a quick one again on Harry. Did you sense that he was motivated to put in a display and is motivated to prove his commitment on the pitch with these special performances going forward?
Okay. My answer to that is that I see Harry every day since he's joining us every day, and he doesn't have to prove anyone. He's committed. You can see all the situations that happen is part of the past. So let's look and move forward. But I see him every day. I see him every day in the training sessions. I saw him today. I saw him in the end of the game. Now it's time for recover. There's one more that will help us.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Duncan.
you.
Time for 2 more. Zaya Adnan, please.
Hi, Nuno.
Hello.
Congratulations on your win. Can I ask you the performance of your young players, especially Brian in the first half and the Sessegnon? What did you think of their performances this evening?
I will start with Sessegnon. I think he's struggling. He was a lot of time out of competition. He has talent. He's a player that can give us good things, 1v1s, crossing. He has energy, but he didn't do all that he has today. I truly believe that he has much more to give. I think Brian played a good game on a different position in the midfield, full of energy. This is what we wanted. Reaction to loss of the ball, talent, and every time he goes to the final third of the pitch, he is a player that he needs to improve on his decision making, but we are here to support him.
Thank you.
Thanks. And last one, Tony Banks, please.
Hi, Nuno. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you, Tony.
With Harry, obviously, games and getting on the pitch improves a player, and players you know, this was his first start of the season, so we're going to be able to expect much more from him, aren't we, as games go on, as he gets more games in him.
I think we can expect much more from everybody, from all of us, We are starting the competition. It's really early. I think we're doing okay. We realize that there's a long way to go and a lot of room to improve. All of us.
Okay.
I love this guy. I love this guy, Nuno. I mean, he just speaks so well to the press. I just feel like he's got a real connection, or he's going to build a real connection with this fan base.
Yeah, and he touched on that, the how they've kind of welcomed him and made him feel at home immediately, and how he's kind of getting that connection so early on, which is important. Even Pochettino didn't get that connection so early on. It took him a while.
Yeah.
It took him about a year, really, to get a proper connection with
True.
the fans. After, in the first year, no one really thought much of him. A lot of people thought he was another AVB.
A lot of fans wanted him gone at the beginning of the next season, didn't he?
Yeah, a lot of people thought he was another Andre Villas-Boas for the first year. It wasn't until really early on in the second season, then we started to really get warm to him. Or not warm, but like proper take to him. But with Nuno, it seems like we're kind of very eager, the fan base, to kind of warm to Nuno. I think he's got everyone on side straight away. Maybe it's because we've been a year with Mourinho, and it's like kind of, I don't know, a scenario where you've kind of been with a partner who's like been abusive, and then like...
Yeah, but it's not just Mourinho. That is to do with it, but it's also the love that Spurs fans had for Poch before that, and a lot of fans were clamouring for to have that love back. And I think maybe as a fan base we might be like just looking at Nuno and just like trying to love him as well.
Yeah, but you look, he does say the right things.
Yes,
the way he speaks and what he says, he's honest, but he's also he doesn't say anything too controversial and stuff like that, which is good for which I guess the club might like.
He's honest. He's very honest.
Yeah,
and very honest and very open. And like that thing where he says like Ryan Sessegnon is struggling. It's nice to hear like that honesty come from a manager in a press conference.
Yeah, and I think that's a big reason as well why a lot of the fan base have very much liked the early days of Nuno. We'll have to wait. Look, it's all right when we're winning games and everything. We have to see what happens when the going gets tough, and how how us as a fan base react when we maybe go 2 or 3 games without a win. But at the moment, it's happy days with Nuno at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. Dark Sun G with the super chat saying, what do you think about the Moriba links? Is he good? We'll get into that in a few minutes, but let's move on and let's talk about Harry Kane again. As Jack Pitbrook, do you have the article that Jack Pitbrook did on it?
Yeah.
Because Harry Kane has turned down a big new Tottenham contract just 2 weeks ago. With the kind of news doing the rounds over the last couple of days that Spurs are set to offer Harry Kane a brand new contract with much improved wages, with a potential release clause or not in there. Jack Pitbrook claims that he turned down one 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, according to the article, Harry Kane was offered beginning of this month. Was offered a new contract which would add an extra 100 grand a week onto his pay packet, and he turned it down because he still thought the Man City deal was going to go through, and so he rejected the contract with the view of moving to Man City, and that move obviously hasn't materialised, and now the kind of tables are turned on Harry apparently, and now Levy doesn't want to give him a new contract. Now he wants a new contract, and Levy doesn't want to give it to him.
Wow.
Because he feels like the chance was there for Harry to sign it when there was offered to him a couple of weeks ago before the window to end the speculation. He didn't take him up on that offer, and now apparently Levy feels like the chance has gone for the new signing of the new contract.
Was there a release clause in that contract?
Don't believe so, no.
So I mean, I don't get that from Levy. I don't get that at all from Levy. Seems a bit of an ego trip to me, because he's going to have 2 years left in his deal at the end of next season. He's going to have to offer to have a contract at some stage.
Yeah, but I don't know whether the contract Kane wants now wants a release clause or not. But what Levy offered didn't have a release clause, so whether he was ever going to sign that. But Yeah, so that was the beginning of last month, and hopefully he does sign a contract. I'll definitely be more in that camp, because I'd like him to kind of, even if he does leave next summer, at least I want him to this season trying to put any sort of doubt in his mind that he's committed for this season to bed. And I think him signing a contract would confirm that. Even though it's possible that if a team comes in from next summer, I still think this season he's going to give his all. He's probably going to give his all anyway, but I don't want any animosity between the club and Kane, going forward. I want to put that in the past. And I think signing their contract probably does that.
Yeah, I agree, but I just don't get why Levy wouldn't still offer the contract.
Where's the quote from Levy? I'm trying to not quote from Levy, but where's Levy's position? It says right now there is a little appetite from Kane's side to sign a new deal. Even if he wanted to, the offer that he turned down 2 weeks ago was a time-limited offer and is no longer on the table. Nor is there much incentive for Levy to make a new offer when Kane is now staying in this window and still has almost 3 years left on his deal. So there is no prospect of a new contract for Kane anytime soon. So it looked like a couple of weeks ago there was a chance, and now it looks like it ain't going to happen.
Surely, if Kane's willing to sign a contract right now, and next summer comes along and he still hasn't signed a contract, it's very unlikely by next summer he will sign one. With 2 years left in his deal, he's going to start holding more of the cards. So surely it's in our interest to give him that contract right now.
Depends if it's an extension on years or if it's just a pay rise.
Yeah.
I guess
It's got to be an extension, yeah.
Yeah, it has to be an extension. I guess they've compared it to the situation when Rooney asked to leave and then signed a new contract within a couple of days. Grealish last year saw off interest from Man United by signing a new contract. When Arsenal came in for Vardy got a significant pay rise to sign a new deal. And they all signed the deal, but Harry Kane obviously decided to reject the deal. And but he still ended up staying because City didn't stump up the cash. So I guess Kane probably would have been better off in hindsight signing the deal potentially.
Yeah, I think so. Seeing as
that's
City
probably where all the
didn't
rumours
stump up.
came from a couple of weeks ago, if you remember.
Yeah.
When people were saying
when Paul Miller put that thing on LinkedIn and stuff.
So it sounds like that was true. That at the time he was offered a new deal, but he rejected it.
How do you think this is going to play out? Do you reckon a contract's going to be signed?
I think it depends how we do. I think it's now a bit of a waiting game to see how we're positioned. Come midway through the season, because if we're midway through the season and we're just like out of the contention for top four and we're languishing again, I can't see him signing a contract. But if we're actually like up there and competing, and still in some of the cups or whatever, then maybe there is a chance he'll think, look, I am at the right place and we are moving forward again, and I'm enjoying being still at Spurs. But it all depends. I think the time has gone for the time being to sign it. I don't think it's going to be done now, but I think maybe there is potential maybe later in the season for it to happen, I think.
Interesting. I mean, I think I think Levy would be stupid not to offer him a contract right now, an extension contract. Surely.
He should definitely offer it. It's whether Kane also wants to take it. Apparently, Kane's obviously more open to take it now than he was a couple of weeks ago. But whether he's he still doesn't seem that intent on doing so. He kind of seems like he would look at offers if it comes in, but he's not going to be desperate to sign it because he knows he will hold more of the cards maybe next summer.
Yeah, I get that. But when there's a chance, you're saying he's more open to it than he was a few weeks ago. Mm-hmm. If there's a slight chance, surely you've got to offer it and see if it sticks.
Yeah. That's what I'll do if I was Levy. I would offer him the contract. But clearly Levy is playing hardball again.
Yeah,
he is, and classic Levy, and he's gonna play hardball. He's like, look, you've got 3 years left. I don't need to give you more money than I'm giving you right now because you've got 3 years left. So,
and Kane will happily stay quiet. Next summer will come along, 2 years left, and Kane will start holding more of the cards, and Levy will look like an idiot.
Depends. I think next summer we still have. I know it's 2 years left, but there's still.
We do, but it's getting less and less, isn't it?
Of course, but then that's for the future to decide, not right now.
Yeah, but you got to look forward to the future, don't you?
Yeah, but nothing's decided just yet. So I think that's why Levy. You know how Levy is. He's always going to wait until for the best moment, and maybe he feels like right now isn't.
Okay. Our Peter Mukherjee with a super chat saying, if Aurier is replacement option for Zeki Çelik and we need a new right back, what are your thoughts on Çelik for us? Fast, tough tackler, crosser, shooter. I mean, Zeki Çelik is going to Atletico Madrid apparently, so I think that's a no-go.
Yeah, it looks
and if Zeki Çelik is going to Atletico Madrid, what's happening with Kieran Trippier?
Well, they need 2 right backs, don't they? Or they have Sissoko, don't they? Well, they nearly sold him. I don't know. Maybe Trippier could be going.
Would you take him back?
More competition. Would I take Trippier back? Probably at this point, yeah. Probably.
How much?
Not for the 40 million they're asking, whatever it is.
Is that what you want?
Something
How much
like
did we
that.
sell him for? Like 13 or something?
No, we sold him for 20.
20.
According to, we just got a DM from Stretch Spurs saying it's breaking. Serge Aurier loan to Lille, obligation not to send him back.
Obligation to buy.
I guess that means obligation to buy, but I haven't seen anything from that. I don't know if I haven't seen any news relating to that. If anyone sees it, has got the news and they can tag us, so I can see it. But I don't tend to just believe random DMs that are telling me news unless I see it from a source.
Exactly. Simeon only listens to the horse's mouth.
Exactly.
If your name is Fabrizio Romano. But let's move on. Let's talk about Moussa Sissoko now. It was probably the news story of the day yesterday, even though we did win a football match. But Fabrizio Romano said that Tottenham are working to complete Moussa Sissoko deal with Watford, confirmed. Sissoko is the main name in the list to replace Will Hughes, who is close to joining Crystal Palace. And the Daily Mirror this morning say Tottenham midfielder Moussa Sissoko will undergo a medical with Watford today before completing a £10 million transfer.
That would be an incredible deal, wouldn't it? £10 million. What a deal that would be. If we were to get that over the line. Maybe it's like...
Don Paratici is cooking, people.
That'd be incredible. I can't believe that we would have convinced Watford to have parted away with that amount of money for a 32-year-old Sissoko who's been off the boil for so long.
He'll do well there.
Huh?
He'll do well there.
I hope so. Yeah, he definitely would, yeah.
Link up with Danny Rose.
Yeah, it'd be class. I think, I guess from their point of view, getting a French international with Premier League experience, maybe will help them stay in the Premier League. So... maybe it makes sense from that point of view, but I think for us, it'll be a fantastic deal to get Sissoko off to Watford for that amount of money, and it hopefully means we can get the ball rolling and getting someone in already, because time is really running out. 4 days now. We've got 4 days left. It really is. Time is ticking away, and L'Equipe have also just now reported that Moussa Sissoko is in talks with Watford at an advanced stage. And Tottenham have been speaking to Watford this morning, and they aim to quickly get the deal done, although the fee amount has not yet been filtered through. So the only people that are reporting this 10 million is the Mirror, so we have to wait and see if that's an accurate fee. I remember, Alderweireld was reported at 13 million, and apparently it turned out to be a lot less than that. So who knows exactly how much this deal was for. But either way, I think even if it's 5 million, just get him out. I think that's the main thing. The main thing is him, not necessarily the money. The main thing is getting him out the doors to free up space so we can start moving forward with our squad.
Definitely.
That's the main thing.
And Ed Aarons of The Guardian literally just tweeted 20 seconds ago saying, pleased to see Will Hughes is on his way to Crystal Palace. Always been an underrated player who will add a lot of value, to Patrick Vieira's squad. So that's the chain, isn't it? Will Hughes going to Crystal Palace and Moussa Sissoko going to Watford. So it all seems as though...
who's coming to Spurs?
Huh?
And then who's coming to Spurs?
Well, watch this space, people. But we'll have to see about that. But it's just... great news, isn't it? It's just great news, like getting a foreign player out, a player that's 32, a player that's on high wages, a player that hasn't added anything in the last part of last season. So it's music to all our ears to get Moussa Sissoko out. I mean, it's one that we've kind of wanted to happen since probably last January.
Yeah, we've wanted it for a while now, and we know that he doesn't offer as much, anywhere near as much as he used to. And as much as he did give us a few good years of service, and he became a cult figure for a point of how hard he worked, and after he coming in and being so maligned and earning his place in the team, I think now's the time for him to move on. I think that's the main thing. And I was worried that we weren't going to be able to shift him and no one's going to come in for him. But it looks like we've now found some sort of agreement with Watford, and that's perfect for everyone, I think. And most important thing now is not just getting him out, but we need to replace him, and that's the crucial thing. That's why we're not happy for Sissoko just to get him out, which I am, but hopefully it opens up a space for someone else to come in, and that's the most crucial thing.
Crocodox with the super chat saying £10 million, slowly earning the Don title. Definitely a great deal. And Patrick B says, if Sissoko departs, do you think that means we'll pursue Aurier more seriously? I mean,
it sounds more like maybe we'll push for someone like a McKennie.
I think more of a McKennie or a Kessie or someone like that is more of a replacement for Sissoko. But didn't we see AC Milan signing a centre mid yesterday? Did I see that?
They were linked with Renato Sanchez.
That's it, Renato Sanchez.
I don't think they actually signed him. I don't think they signed anyone yesterday. But I think in terms of Aurier, I think he's probably seen more as a replacement for Ndombele, and then hopefully someone like McKennie is a replacement for Sissoko. But we know with Sarr and Moriba both coming in potentially,
maybe Moriba's the Sissoko replacement.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, are we really going to sign Sarr and Moriba, then splash another 40 million on McKennie? It's not going to happen, is it? It's not going to happen. We're not going to be planning for the future with these two 18-year-olds and sign another young player for big money who's going to block their progress, are we? So that doesn't make too much sense to me. So I don't know. I don't know who's going to replace Sissoko. Maybe it'll be a thing of getting Sissoko out, bring Aurier in for a cheap fish fee, and then having him as an option instead as well. I'm not so sure.
Steve Combo says Skip replaces Sissoko with Sarr coming through next season.
Yeah, that's also a possibility, I guess.
With obviously Winks staying as well, looks like.
Looks like it. I guess we talk about that.
Yeah, let's get on to the Winks news. As apparently, it hasn't happened over the last couple of days. I think the report was like a week ago or 2 weeks ago or something.
Well, the report was only from today, but it wasn't that the bid was today.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But Leeds apparently have rejected the chance to sign Harry Winks on loan for this season, which is quite surprising to me because I think Winks would do quite well in a Leeds side.
And that came from the Leeds correspondent to The Athletic.
Yeah.
So it's quite a reliable source. They said Leeds were given the chance to take Winks on loan from Spurs and they rejected the opportunity, which probably shows how low Winks' stock has fallen at the moment. That a team like Leeds, who only came into the Premier League last season despite obviously playing quite well, they'd rejected the chance to take it up England international at central midfield because I guess, I don't know, maybe they didn't feel he's up to it, or they weren't convinced by him or whatnot. But that is more evidence of how low his stock has fallen, I feel, for Harry Winks, unfortunately for him. And maybe another thing is as well, maybe he didn't want to go there, but I think that it could have been a good move for everyone if he would have taken a year out to go on loan to go somewhere, and he can have built up his reputation again and start playing consistently and maybe develop a good partnership with someone like Calvin Phillips. That could have been good for him as well. Who do they partner at the moment with Calvin Phillips? I can't think of it off my head.
Koch?
Robin Koch. Yeah, potentially. Yeah, there's him and there's other. I can't remember. I'm trying to remember who else they have. But as I was about to say, because I think he would have got into that midfield, is my point. But looks like he's going to be staying for another year. And I think yesterday, I don't know, I saw, it's not necessarily just because he played well. I saw a difference in Winks in terms of, you know, his tackling and his aggression, and how he seemed like he wanted to prove that he wants to be here and actually fight for his place. He seemed like he was fighting yesterday, Winks, as opposed to last week where he just let the game pass him by.
I think though it's a bit different though, because I think he had a lot more help in the middle in this game, and I think last game he was in there on his own. Now John looked a bit out of his depth, so I think last week was a bit harsh on Winks because he was getting completely overrun in midfield because he was the only one there.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm just saying like he that.
But I get his attitude and mentality on the pitch did seem different.
Some of these tackles he was making, the passing seemed a lot more on point. But forget the passing, just like he seemed sharper. He seemed like he was fighting to get back in the team. He didn't seem like he wanted to let another game pass him by and people to say like, oh, another poor game by Winks. He wanted to show like, I am here to fight for my place. I'm good enough to be in the team, and I want to be in that team. And I'm not saying whether he is or not, but he seemed to give that impression yesterday. So hopefully he can get back to anything sort of his best going into the season, and maybe he can be a valuable player for us in the squad and be a player we can actually use. So maybe we'll have to wait and see. But Leeds rejecting him is telling, I would say, at the moment.
I just can't see him getting regular game time here in the league anyway. I can see him getting regular game time in the Conference League and Carabao Cup maybe, and earlier rounds of the FA Cup. But can you ever see him playing in the Premier League?
I think the thing is, because I think the thing with Skip is that because he's younger, he's got a lot more to prove than Winks, and now he's got the shirt. I can't see Winks unless he goes through some poor form. I just can't see Winks relinquishing that shirt. The way he works, the way he plays and conducts himself, and the way he literally the biggest difference between Winks and Skip is not necessarily their on the ball quality, is more that Skip has never been that player to not be a liability in the centre, to like let players run off him and stuff like that. You know, as opposed
it's his sheer work rate.
Yeah, he's a very defensive player. He's very minded. He's a lot stronger than Winks. He's stronger in the challenge, and he's a lot tougher. And I can't see Skip relinquishing that shirt very easily compared to Harry Winks. And you know, compared, for example, that Man City game, there were times where he was getting dribble past and stuff, but he was always there. He was always there being a nuisance. Whereas I feel like sometimes Harry Winks can just go missing in midfield. And I feel like it was Skip, even if he's having a poor game, he's still always going to be there to stand up and be counted. He's always going to kind of give his all and always be a nuisance for the opposition. He's always going to make you work for your...
It's a mentality thing, though, isn't it?
And I feel like sometimes Winks, in a difference is there, is like sometimes he can make it easy for the opposition, and especially when he's having a bad game, he makes it a lot easier for the opposition. But even when Skip's having a bad game, he still doesn't make it easy for them, and that's probably the difference.
And that's a mentality thing, isn't it? Because when the going gets hard for Winks, sometimes he just gives up.
Yeah, he goes within himself.
We haven't seen the going get hard for Skip yet, but it seems as though he's got a proper head on his shoulders.
Yeah, that's what it seems. That's what it seems at the moment, and so that's why I think Skip is the biggest barrier for Winks at the moment this season. But look, what you got to remember, Winks is an England international. He's a few years Skip senior.
He hasn't been an England international for a while now.
Still is, and maybe if he has to prove why he's an England international, and he has to prove that even though Skip's got the shirt at the moment, he has to win it back off him. And I think it's unlikely, but you never know.
I think Skip's more likely to be called up to England than Winks.
At the moment, that's for sure.
Yeah. But anyway, let's move on. Tottenham in talks for Iliax Moriba of Barcelona, centre mid, 18 years of age. Very highly thought of in Barcelona, coming through La Masia. There's been a lot of reports yesterday saying that Tottenham were in advanced talks with Barcelona, and there's been some follow-ups this morning. This was from the Independent Sport saying Tottenham are in advanced negotiations to sign Barcelona midfielder Iliax Moriba and held repeated rounds of talks with the 18-year-old's representatives. Tottenham, this one's from Adrian Kajumba of the Daily Mail, and he says Tottenham are going head-to-head with RB Leipzig to sign Barcelona Iliax Moriba before Tuesday's deadline. It's literally every publication is talking about this story at the moment. And who's this one? This is a Spanish publication, and they're saying Iliax does not have Tottenham as his first option, and Spurs don't consider paying 20 million either. The information is a strategic leak by interested parties. Leipzig continue to be the footballer's most likely destination, either now or in 2022. So they're pouring a bit of cold water on the deal, claiming that he could be going to RB Leipzig.
I mean, I've seen some people claim it's a strategic leak on the player's agent's part to draw out Leipzig and make sure that he gets over the line at RB Leipzig, that all this talk about Tottenham. Apparently, he's agreed personal terms with Leipzig or something, but Barcelona want to sell to Tottenham. So it's hard to know what the truth is. Apparently, this guy as well wants over 100 grand a week at 18 years of age, which is quite frankly ridiculous. What are we going to do? Make him one of our highest paid players because at 18 years? I can't see Levy signing off on that at all, unless it's heavily incentivising bonuses. So I've got a feeling that this one might not happen.
Might not happen. Yeah, I mean, it does seem that
We're not
way.
going to give him 100. Look, we are not.
We're not going to give him 100
grand
grand a week. No,
we're not.
And he wants more than that as well.
We're not doing that. So
yeah,
Leipzig
I was
can do that.
I was reading last night that is going to be the stumbling blocks between Tottenham and Mariba, because I think it seemed as though that a fee with Barcelona was easy to come to, but the kind of agreement with the actual player and his representatives just not going to happen. And it makes sense for him to go to Germany. You know, they like taking these young players, bringing them through, nurturing them. They've got a lot of young players go to Germany, don't they?
Yeah. I just don't believe in giving a player who's 18 years of age
especially
£100
after
a
we
week.
gave it to Ndombele.
I just don't agree. Yeah, I mean, even without that, like a teenager let's be honest, it's not like he's been a fixture of the starting 11 at Barcelona.
Played 14 games last season for Barcelona, 4 starts.
Yeah, and he wants £100 a week. I mean, do me a favour, honestly. I mean, he has to prove himself first. He has to prove that this guy, look, he might have all the potential in the world, but potential doesn't mean anything unless you've shown on the pitch consistently that you're a world-class player, and that's what that kind of thing should earn you £100 a week. It's like when...
Can you imagine that meeting? Mariba and his agents go and speak to Daniel Levy, and they're like, yeah, we demand 120 grand a week. Levy just probably laughs and walks out the room.
Honestly. And he might turn into the next best thing, and we might be sitting here in a few years' time saying, oh, we should have just done it, but I think it takes away the incentive of the players to develop properly, and it gives them way too much way too early. It's like when Chelsea gave Hudson-Odoi, he signed a new contract. They gave him 150 grand a week when he had played a handful of games, just to convince him to stay because he was linked to Bayern Munich.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah,
and it's like, and now what's he done since then? He's done absolutely nothing. Because he's sitting there on 100 grand a week, doesn't have to work his arse off to break into the team to earn a contract or anything. You know, he could play the whole season on the bench and be on 150 grand a week, and at 19 years of age. And I think that's probably a lot of part of the reason why his development's been hindered. Someone like Hudson-Odoi.
A lot of people saying this in the comments, and I actually read this last night as well, and they said that his dad, who's his agent, also wants like 15 million in commission.
No, of course he does. 15 million, yeah, bloody hell. Ridiculous.
So I think that one, you're right. I don't think this is going to happen.
I can't see it happening.
I can't see
as
it.
much as everyone's claiming, it's close or advanced, I don't know, something tells me it ain't going to happen. Yeah,
I agree. But let's move on. Lille approached Tottenham for Serge Aurier. And more music to our ears. We brought it to you last night that Zeki Çelik could be moving to Atletico Madrid, and that's going to kind of create a domino effect, and that looks as though it's happening. It looks as though Zeki Çelik is on his way to Atletico Madrid, and that means that Lille have approached Tottenham already in case Zeki Çelik was to leave Lille. So it looks as though this one is another one that could get done by the end of the window, and La Mafia is going one by one.
Yeah, they're being separated, aren't they, La Mafia? But I think in terms of this deal, although I'm just reading now that Lille, where was it? I just read from Get French Football News that Lille could potentially line up a Barca right back. Here it is. Lille are considering a move for Barcelona right back Wousa Wegu to replace Zeki Çelik, according to Foot Mercato. So hopefully that doesn't put any spanners in the works in terms of a deal. But again, Jack Pitbull says Spurs couldn't have tried any harder to get Aurier out the door this summer. So hopefully now all that hard work will hopefully pay off, and he'll go to Lille.
He's saying couldn't try any harder or could have tried harder?
Couldn't try any harder.
I read it this morning when I just woke up saying it could have tried.
No, it says he couldn't try.
I was like, why aren't they trying? Come on, Paratici, you get cooking, man.
It says he couldn't have tried. Jack Pitbull says he couldn't try any harder to get.
Right. I thought it sounded a bit strange.
So hopefully. Look, as much as I think Aurier has qualities in his locker to be a good right back, and even arguably, as of sitting here right now, he could easily be our best right back. That's the truth. Yeah. But unfortunately, with 1 year left, we need to. He's the only one really we're going to be able to get out the door to able to sign on a replacement. So I think as soon as this one gets done, Tomiyasu comes in, and we have a player now to challenge, and at least Tomiyasu and Tanganga are right back with Doherty as third choice. I would say that looks a lot better than having Aurier, Tanganga, and Doherty there.
It looks as though in the squad right now, these 3 players, the La Mafia players, are the only 3 players that we're actively trying to ship out. Right?
Looks like
Aurier, Sissoko, and Ndombele.
Yeah, well, apart from obviously offering Winks to Leeds.
Yeah, but it seems as though Winks is going to stay now, doesn't it?
Yeah, looks like that. So, looks like those are the only three. But I think Sissoko leaves, we get in a replacement in midfield. Then Aurier leaves, we get in a replacement right back. And I think we'll get into it in a minute, but that potentially could be all the business we do, because it looks like Traore might not happen.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, what's the story with Traore at the moment?
Well, apparently, if we move on, to Adama Traore, apparently he's the deal has hit the buffers with Adama Traore. He apparently Spurs, according to Jack Pickbrook, Spurs were very interested in getting him through the door, and apparently they agreed a deal with Wolves to get Adama Traore with a loan with an obligation to buy. But apparently they decided to kind of wait to see what happens with him, and not just with him, to see if anything else comes to the fore, like any other opportunities. And it looks like we've waited too long, because we've gone back in for him, and now it looks like Wolves are saying he's not for sale.
So basically Daniel Levy up to his usual tricks.
Yeah, that's what it looks like with this whole Adama Traore thing. It looks like it ain't going to happen. Not only that, he could be set to sign a new contract, according to sources, according to the Daily Mail anyway. Apparently they could be set to offer a new contract, which is obviously at the moment, which is part of the reason why Spurs are in for him, and he's up for sale because he only has 2 years left. But if this deal doesn't happen, he does sign a new contract, it's definitely dead, isn't it? And with the bit of excitement we had with this potential, it looks like it could have. Looks like it's getting away from us now, this deal, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's a bit annoying, because I was really warming to the idea of Traore coming to Spurs. Obviously the deal's not dead yet, and I think that you got to wait until he does actually sign the contract. I think it's alive until that contract's signed. So we'll have to wait and see how this one plays out. But there is not long to go on this transfer window, and I feel like Tottenham might spring a surprise here. I feel like maybe not with Traore, but I think we are going to bring in some players. As the clock ticks down, you just get less and less confident, though, don't you?
Yeah, and I can't with the Traore deal. I just don't see, if it's not Traore, who else? Who else are we going to get in the forward positions? Who else is on our radar right now?
Well, no one.
4 days to go.
No one in the press, but maybe Paratici's cooking in the background. Who knows?
Yeah, I'd hope so. Well, Madueke as well. That one's off the table.
Yeah.
So because he signed a contract, he ain't going to be joining. So I just wonder who the deal's going to be, if it's not going to be Traore. And 4 days to go, we're leaving it very, very. We're cutting it fine for time. That's for sure. But hopefully we can get another attacking option, because I think it would really do well to supplement our options, get either a striker or a winger through the door, one of the two, and I think that could really do wonders to supplement our squad. I'm just not sure yet if it's possible. I just got a feeling it's going to... I said ages ago it was only going to be Tomiyasu or no one else, and you know what? That's not looking like a bad shout at the moment.
It's not looking like a bad shout. It's really not. But look, let's start bringing some guests on. Let's start off with Jack.
Jack.
Jack, how you doing, mate?
Hello.
Hi, how you doing, Jack?
How are you? How is your grandpa?
I haven't actually seen him yet this morning, so I don't know yet.
You haven't gone down and say good morning?
Not yet, no.
Oh, come on, Jack. Where's the manners? I'm joking. What do you want to talk about today, mate?
Why not transfer business?
Okay. Sissoko, Aurier. How happy are you? They look like they're seemingly going out the door before the end of the window.
Absolutely delighted. I think I'll still drive them there.
Yeah, well, 10 million for sure. I think we'd all chip in for a cab and for that fee.
Wait, do you know how much do you think we'll sell Aurier for then?
It remains to be seen. I mean, he has only got 1 year left in his contract, so I doubt it'll be too much of a fee. I'm thinking somewhere between 10 and 15 million, maybe a bit less. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it could easily be less than 10 at this stage with 4 days. Oh, is he gone? Oh, no, he's there.
But if Sissoko's going for 10, I know he's got 1 year or longer on his contract, but you'd expect Aurier to go for a similar amount.
Potentially. Yeah, because Aurier at the moment is still, I think, a better player, but...
Much.
but not necessarily in the eyes of other teams potentially, especially.
He's also younger.
Yeah, and he is younger. I don't know. I think they could go for I think they go for a similar fee, I guess. But do you think this? Yeah, go on.
Do you think we'll get a replacement for Aurier?
Yes, I think Tomiyasu. I think Tomiyasu is the replacement. I think that's what's holding it up. I think that's what's holding up the deal.
I do believe as soon as Aurier goes, we'll get Tomiyasu. They're talking about 17 million euros. 17 million euros.
Something like that. I think that's the only thing holding it back, because all this talk about is it going to happen, not, and why it's gone dead. I think it's just because we haven't sold Aurier. That's pretty much the only reason. And as soon as that happens, it looks like we're the dominoes are going to fall. In terms of Adama Traore, the deal looks like it might hit the buffers. Is that disappointing to you?
Quite disappointing, but you never know. It could still happen. We could still pull the strings. Levy might still get him in.
Yeah. If Traore doesn't happen, is anyone else that you'd think could potentially come in those in an attacking position for the end of the window?
I think we need like a backup striker like Carlos Vinicius was last season, because if Kane gets injured and Son as well, we could be in a bit of a I don't know what will happen if Kane and Son get injured. I don't know who will play up front.
Yeah,
we need to have a backup striker.
Very true. We're just going to get through the super chat. Super chat from Dark Sun G21 saying, "Winks to Newcastle not happening. Please, Newcastle." What's your take on Harry Winks?
I want Winks out as well.
You want Winks out?
Well, Leeds rejected the chance to loan him. Is that a big blow for that?
Yeah, I think so.
And
I think it looks like he's going to be staying.
Last question.
How much would Winks cost though?
Probably about 20 million.
Yeah, something like
that. But
maybe
just
15.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, I would ship him out for 15 if I was Levy, but it doesn't seem like he's getting much interest. But just before we let you go, what is your gut instinct telling you? What's your prediction? I know I asked you last night, but I'm going to ask you again today. How many players are we going to bring in? Give me a number.
Hopefully 3.
Is that your prediction or is that your hope?
That's my prediction.
Okay. All right, Jack. Thank you very much for coming on again, mate.
I reckon it'll be a backup striker, a CDM, and probably another centre back. Hopefully.
Let's hope so. I hope you're right, mate. But thank you so much for coming on again.
Nice one, Jack.
Yeah. Thank you.
See you soon.
Cheers.
Big up. Let's keep going. We've got someone called Name in the back. I'm joking. His name is Alex. But his name is his name is Name apparently. But Alex, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Yourselves?
Yeah, all good. Especially after a 3-0 win yesterday. Sissoko looks like he's going. Aurier potentially looks like he's going. Were you there last night?
No, I wasn't. I had a dinner pre-booked, so I couldn't go. But I'm going this weekend, so hopefully should be good fun.
I don't blame you, Alex, for picking dinner over the Conference League. I really don't blame you.
Honestly, I kind of did want to go just for the ticketing points. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I bet it was a dinner at McDonald's as well. Like, it wasn't even planned. You was like, should we just go to McDonald's? Yeah, let's just go.
Yeah, rather than Pax Ferreira. But maybe it would have been interesting going because like Harry Kane. It was obviously that was kind of like the sort of main theme of the night, wasn't it? All about Harry Kane and him scoring and everyone cheering him on and everything. So it was interesting. But yeah, no, had a good dinner. So.
In terms of the game last night, everyone is talking about Bryan Gil from the game. I mean, how impressed are you by him, and how good do you think he can be?
So, I think Bryan Gil, he needs to start getting some regular game minutes in the Premier League, in my opinion. I think that he is clearly a very, very good, well-scouted talent. You can see the creativity flow to him. I do wonder if maybe he is our missing creative outlet, perhaps. I'm not sure if maybe a number 10 role would. So maybe it would, maybe it wouldn't. I think he might have played there in the past. I'm not too sure.
I think he's played across all 3 positions: right, left, centre.
Yeah. So he's very early in his development, but it's looking pretty good. I'd love to see him get some minutes in the Premier League. And what a deal, trading Eric Lamela for Gil. Plus,
I mean, Eric Lamela has scored 3 goals in 2 sub appearances.
I'm delighted for him, but we all know that, we all know that his time at Tottenham was over. But,
this could have been his year. This could have been his year.
Oh, well, that's what we say every pre-season. He is the perfect pre-season player, but it never really works like that in the end, does it? He always has that like purple patch, and then it all kind of falls off, doesn't it?
Yeah,
there was just something I want to say about the right back position that's been bugging me for a while now, and I'm just really annoyed about it because for how many years now have we been saying we need? I'm not just saying any right back like Doherty for 15 million, or even I suppose Tomiyasu, who's not even an out-and-out right back, but can cover both. I'm talking about a top quality right back who's going to come in and fill that position.
We've been saying it since Walker left, right?
Exactly, and Trippier did a job for a bit, but we could see that was coming to an end. His final season at us wasn't great whatsoever. He was pretty poor that season. So it could have been a variety of issues behind the scenes. We don't really know. But what I'm saying is that we've spent over 50 million on the left back spot in actually just a couple of years, haven't we? And yet the right back spot, is it just me or is it every single team, at least in the Premier League that we play against, targets us at right back? Because they know that's where we're weakest. Everyone. And I feel like, what are we doing? We should have spent top quality money. We clearly have some money in the bank to spend, because if we're going to sign Troy, even if it was a loan with obligation, surely we've got some money we expect to be coming in or have at the moment. So I don't know why we aren't doing that on a top quality right back, in my opinion, and it just really infuriates me.
Alex, would you take Trippier back?
I was really anti-Trippier in his final season, and I've said this a few times. There was something that went on behind the scenes with him that he mentioned after he left the club. We have no idea what it is. Something happened.
He did say, Alex, he did say he was even forced to play with injury a lot of that season.
And you could see it. I remember even in the Champions League final, there was this cross he put in, and then he held his ankle after. I can't remember, but yeah, I do remember that. And obviously under Simeone he has developed. That's undeniable, as you would probably expect with a manager of that quality and defensive aptitude. So how old is he? Must be 31 now? 31? 30?
Something like that.
Yeah, 30, 31, yeah.
For the money that's being quoted, I would not take him back. I think we need someone, not necessarily has to be very, very young. I think someone 20, 25, 26, someone coming into their prime, really. I'm not really too sure. Maybe someone like a Klosterman from RB Leipzig, someone like that. Someone quite tall and I just think we're really missing a trick with the right back position. It's just really annoyed me for a couple of years now, because I remember even during the Dybala saga a few years back, we were looking at I think it was a Tau from Nice. I think we were potentially looking at, and then that deal went dead, and we were looking at I think Selic as well a few years ago, and obviously he's now looking like he's going to a different club. So yeah, I just don't know what we're doing with that position. Tanganga, sure, he could be the next best thing at right back, but we're not really. He's very young. We're not really too sure. I think we need an out and out right back.
And now we're stuck with Doherty, aren't we? Because we gave him a 4-year deal last year, signed him for 15 million. And we're not getting rid of him this summer, so he has to be one of our options. It looks like, for me, it looks like the Aurier deal is holding up the Tomiyasu deal. That's what it looks like to me. It looks like it was going to be one in, one out. So it looks like our right back options going into the season are going to be Tomiyasu, Doherty, and Tanganga.
How good is this Tomiyasu geezer?
Exactly. It's like I think our scouting from the Italian league, Paratici clearly maybe knows what he's doing. He's obviously got a lot of connections there, but we're paying what I think is 21 million euros. I think
I heard maybe something between 17 and 20.
Yeah, could be, call that pounds, maybe somewhere around that region, right?
Yeah.
That it's not that expensive. I just feel like it should be a high priority position, in my opinion.
I agree.
It's our highest priority position.
Yeah, it should be. It should be. It should have been our first signing after Romero, pretty much, and it still might be.
Well, you know, we'll see. But you know, Tomiyasu is, you know, we'll see how he does. But I'd rather look for a better quality player, like, you know, who costs a bit more money. That's
I mean, Dumfries was going for 13 million to Inter Milan. I mean, that we should have been all over that.
Yes, but I did it. He has some defensive issues, which is I think why maybe quite a few teams were not so keen on him, because obviously, you know, during the Euros he was amazing and he has a good reputation in his attacking play, but as a, you know, more of a modern right back. But I'm not sure. If we're looking for someone who's got the defensive aptitude as well as an attacking output, I'm not really sure.
Tomiyasu's the opposite. I mean, he's got great defensive attributes, but not much going forward.
Yeah, which, in fairness to him, maybe that is what we need, because, you know, the system we play, at least under Mourinho, I remember, you know, it was because Doherty, if you remember, was brought in because he wanted an attacking outlet on the right side. However, if you're looking back in hindsight, although it's easy to do so, it was very poor planning by the club, because then we brought in Reguilon, who could do that but even better, and on the left. So we then switched our attacking output on the left, and Doherty basically had to retrain his position to become a right back, which just isn't really what he is. So, you know, maybe that is going to suit us. Tomiyasu being more of a defensive, you could even maybe just drop back into a back three, essentially, and let Reguilon go up on the left. So potentially that could be something that is going to be good. But yeah, I think the overall point is that I'm just really disappointed that every season we come in and we're not willing to spend the big bucks on someone of quality.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. But Alex, always a pleasure having you on, and let's hope by the next time we speak we do have a new right back.
I really hope so. I really do.
Crossing my fingers.
Thank you, guys.
Big up, Alex. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
We've got a super chat here from Miles Cork saying, I think we'll get a striker, winger, defender and a cam all in 4 days. You want a signing a day?
I hope so.
I wouldn't mind that either.
I wouldn't mind that. And also, quickly, good news for Steven Bergwijn. He is back in the Dutch squad. So congratulations, Steven Bergwijn, after he's been left out for a while in the Dutch team. Maybe his early season form has given him a call-up. So
I think he deserves it as well.
I'm happy for him.
Yeah.
I'm happy for him.
And let's bring on our next guest, who is Grandpa, everyone's favourite Grandpa, Grandpa Brian, fresh from the game last night. Grandpa, can you hear us?
Yes. Grandpa, everyone's favourite Grandpa, Grandpa Brian, fresh from the game last night. Grandpa, can you hear us? Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but your computer's on too loud, so I can't hear it. I can hear too much through the headphones.
That's because I've got two computers on.
Oh, you need to turn one of them off. You're looking at the wrong computer, I think. Oh, is he gone now? Oh.
Grandpa.
Great cameo from Grandpa there.
Let's bring on Brian Daigle, and then we'll get Grandpa on afterwards.
Back on.
Mr. Brian Daigle, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. Shabbat shalom to you, boys. How are you?
Yeah, all good, mate. Was trying to get Grandpa on, but not sure what happened there. But
you know,
we got the second best Brian. No offense.
No offense taken. In fact, I think he's the better Brian myself. So, all good. But yeah, I turned on and woke up this morning. It's like 6:30 here now. When you were talking about the Traore deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, classic, isn't it? Looks like that one's dead now in the waters. Does that disappoint you? I know it doesn't surprise you. Nothing surprises you at this stage, but does that disappoint you?
Not really. Listen, I think he's a good player, but if we were to go for a player like him, I'd rather we go for some Maximum from Newcastle. I think he's the more better player. He's the more maverick, but he's actually got some end product. If Adama Traore had some end product, he'd be dangerous. And that's the only problem I have with Traore.
I mean, in my opinion, the player I would go for if we're spending, it's going to be a bit more than it's going to be probably maybe close to 50 or 55 million. But I think the player that we should be going for is Rafinha of Leeds. I think he's an absolute star.
He's a great shout as well, a really great shout. the one I really want, and not so much creative, if we were going to spend that kind of money, I know we signed a contract, would have been James Ward-Prowse. He would have been the one to go and spend that kind of money on, because the one thing he will give you is the set pieces that we desperately need. All right, Lo Celso scored that one today.
Rafinha gives you that as well.
As consistent as Ward-Prowse, Ben?
I don't think anyone's as consistent as Ward-Prowse.
that's a very good point. That's the only person, because I think in the midfield, also for dictating play and speed, I thought Ward-Prowse would have been brilliant, but obviously he signed his contract, so it ain't happening.
But if Ward-Prowse does come in, who do you play? Who does he come? Who comes out that midfield three?
That's the manager's decision, not mine. That's why he gets paid the big bucks. But even again, that has strength in depth. To have that conversation, to say, do you know what? We really do have a strong midfield now. We can rotate or use people sparingly. So he would be the one, but we've got to get Tomiyasu in. We've got to, as a necessity, in my opinion.
Do you think once the Aurier deal goes through, this will happen?
Once the Aurier deal goes through, mate, I might quickly hop over to you and start singing Muzzle Top and sing.
We might get a double one in the same day, Sissoko and Aurier.
Oh, mate, then I'll be doing the horror as well, mate. I'll send you a video. But yeah, it could be a good day. And then, like we said, you were speaking earlier about the French mafia and getting them out. I mean, I think they're the biggest obstacle to get out of all the Deadwood that we speak about. They are the ones that need to go first. And Ben, and Simeon, I'm going to put my hands up as well, because I will always admit when I'm wrong. But at the moment, I'm kind of being proved wrong about Dele Alli. But it's only 2 games. It's only 2 games, but I've been very impressed with what he did against Wolves. I haven't got to speak to you about it. A great performance by him. So let's hope it carries on.
Brian, we spoke at the back end of last season, and you said to me, if Dele Alli starts playing well, I'm going to be very angry. So how are you feeling about Dele Alli playing well?
Well, do you know what? Like I said, it's been 2 games. It's been 2 games, and I will. Do you know what? Like I said, it's got with him. We've seen it be 2 games here, 2 games there, and then we go back to normal. I will be extremely angry. But slightly happy on the same side. But I will be. I mean, it just goes to show this was just a pure attitude problem, and it's just I don't. You know, I mean, if we all go to work, we're not lucky enough to go to work and earn the fortunes that they do. And if we start showing bad attitudes, we're out the door. Go find a new job. I just don't like the way he's handled himself. Whether it's been his agent, whether it's been him, whether it's whoever it's been, but. You can't knock his performance, and if I have to hate him for him and get furious for him to perform well, so be it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but Brian, you know, we spoke about Traore, but who do you think we will get in through the door? Will it only be Tomiyasu? Will we see anyone else come in? Do you think?
I'm kind of with you, Simeon. I think Tomiyasu. I mean, this whole window, it's all about one certain parasite, not a good director of football. These deals would have been done if it was down to the director of football. We need that right back. Like Alex was saying, what we've done with the left back, since Walker, we haven't. Trippier, I was a fan of. And that question, would I take Trippier back? In a heartbeat. But Tomiyasu needs to get done, and we still need this backup striker. Especially when Ben has to pay £20 a mind come Tuesday. We're going to need that backup striker. But yeah,
you still think there's a chance, Brian? You still think the 4 days to go, Kane can still go?
Mate, I'm sticking my neck out, and I swear to God, if a rumour comes out on Sky Sports News, I might just have a picture of myself on Twitter going, So
you're going to be the happiest Spurs fan when Harry Kane leaves.
Mate, I won't be. Trust me, I'll be furious. I will, because like I said to you before, if he'd gone to Man City, I would have gone mental because he said he weren't selling to a Premier League team. So if United do come in, which I think they will, but I'll be just as mad. Listen, mate, anything for me to have a go at Levy is a good day. So, but yeah, so I want Kane to stay. I hope he stays. I'm just saying that I think there's an 11th hour bid coming in. Whether it gets accepted or what is obviously down to the club. But I just still think this isn't over bidding wise. And I still think we need that. But I mean, who would you guys sign as a backup striker? If we're under the impression that he is completely staying, you can't really go and sign a superstar that's going to agree to play with him, or go alongside. You know, what I mean, in his backup kind of thing. So who would you go for?
Heard that Fernando Llorente is looking for a club.
We're going to find Paul and Jury back, or
yeah, exactly.
Studio.
It's a hard one. It's a hard one because who could you come to play backup to Harry Kane? It's the problem we've had since Harry Kane's broken into the team, pretty much.
It really is. I mean, you look at it that whole time. That whole time he's broken through. There's been a couple of like people in the Championship that we could have gone throughout this time that have gone on to Premier League that we could have got. But right now, I mean, that's the situation. That's the predicament we always find ourselves in.
I thought signing a winger and moving Son to a striking position potentially or using him as our backup striker and having another winger there could potentially have been that solution, because Son's always going to stay at the start, and then if Kane is injured, Son can just play up front, and that could be because he's got quite a good record when he plays up front, so that could be one of the solutions. I thought why Aurier actually kind of made sense in that aspect, but with Aurier not happening, we have to kind of look at strikers again, unless we sign another winger. Then any other wingers maybe in the offing, I don't know.
Someone in the comments says, get Crouchy to dust off them boots. But
there you go. Let him come. If Harry Redknapp was in charge, it'd definitely be happening.
I think there's two names that have been mentioned in the comments, actually three, which I all think could be viable options. First of all, Edouard from Celtic, young striker, very good striker. Wout Weghorst from Wolfsburg, also a very good striker, and also Icardi from PSG, who's going to maybe see a lack of game time this year because Messi's coming in and what have you. But seeing as Mbappe's leaving, maybe that puts him back in the conversation. Who knows?
It could. I mean, I really do like the idea of that guy from Celtic. That's the kind of person to come in.
Yeah.
Coming from Celtic, it's a big club, but coming to the Premiership, it'll take time. For me, all the things around that transfer, could it work? Would he relax on the bench? Not relax, but be okay on the bench to begin with. It ticks all the boxes for me.
Yeah, I completely agree.
That's out of those three, even though Icardi, I would say, is the best one, but Icardi comes with a lot of trouble as well. And the last thing we need after getting one mafia out is starting a new one. So I would have to go with the Celtic guy. I think that's a great shout, actually.
Yeah, I completely agree. And he's a player who I've been speaking about for the last year and a half, and I think he would really suit us. I really do. He's tall, he's strong, he's quick, he's got a really good eye for goal. So I think he would be definitely a great option for us, and obviously a French under-21 international. But Brian, it's time to get Grandpa on, so we're going to have to love you and leave you. But thank you very much for coming on.
Always a pleasure, guys. Bring on the real Brian, the true Brian. I'll go crawl back under my rock and my rock that says Levy out.
Shalom. See you later, Brian.
Nice one, Brian.
All right, let's get Grandpa on.
Yeah,
Grandpa, how you doing?
He's back. He's got the right computer.
And you can hear me.
We can hear you.
Perfectly,
all good, loud and clear.
Okay. So
how was it at the game last night?
Well, it was brilliant, and that's really what I want to talk about, because I went into the executive club and I paid £45 for my seat, and I was really on top of the pitch. It was just brilliant, and I got a much different view of the players than you get when you're just watching it on TV. And I thought that I would just share some of my thoughts, which I think makes a difference to what a lot of you are talking about.
Please do.
I think. And I haven't heard your reports at all, so I'm saying this just from me without knowing anybody else's thinking.
Okay.
But first of all, I thought that Kane, he played really well, but the whole feeling about him was that is there, and I even got the feeling that he really wants to make it work. And if it did work, I still have the feeling that he will actually stay on if we can get into the top four. And I'm now more positive than ever before that we will get into the top four. I think Nuno is doing a great job. The way a lot of those players played was out of their skin. Very, very different to the way they were playing.
Oh, it's getting a call.
Sorry. The way they were playing was clearly they've been pushed to get fit. Most of them anyway. There's a couple that I thought weren't fit. And they gelled together, and I think when 2 or 3 of the others come in, we've really got a good team before you bring in anybody else. So bringing anybody else would just make it stronger. And of course, I'm not as anti as you all are on Aurier. I would, compared to anybody you've actually got coming, I would keep him rather than rather than not. I think
the problem is he wants to leave. That's the problem.
Yeah, I know, that's the problem. Anyway, let me go through. Brian Gill. What's his name? Brian
Yeah,
Gill.
Gil.
Brian
Like Gil
was absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
I thought he was by far the man of the match. He assisted the first goal, and he was assisting 3 or 4 other goals that we might have got. He was everywhere. He was absolutely incredible. And I mean, I know it's against the second-rate team, but he was running, he was working. He never stopped. It was a pleasure to really watch. He brought energy into the whole team. And it was interesting because when Delhi came in, he just carried on with that same energy. And I thought Delhi was great. The number 2 for me, for the man of the match, was Aurier. Aurier.
He came on for the last half an hour.
Yeah, and when he did, he came on and he was controlling the whole of the centre there. You could see him working all the time, making sure everybody was back and that they weren't playing an offside trap. He was really rated him great. I thought Doherty looked unfit. He didn't seem to move very quickly, and although 1 or 2 of his passes were okay, I was pretty disappointed in Doherty. Pretty disappointed in Romero.
Really?
I thought Romero, though he was steady, but he wasn't moving. He wasn't running, and it felt to me that he wasn't fit.
Really?
I mean, he's
That's
obviously got
interesting.
class, but it appeared to me that he wasn't fit.
That's interesting.
The rest of the team were okay. Winks. I'm not happy. I think I'll be quite happy if he goes. But I feel the whole picture is coming together, and I think Nuno is getting the best out of the players we've got. So I wouldn't be worrying so much about all the new ones. I mean, I think we should get them, but I wouldn't worry too much because I think we've got a good team there now. Certainly now Kane's there. And when Kane has been injured, we've come up with the goods when he's been away as well. So I wouldn't be totally worried about that happening. But the main thing is to give him to be positive about the team he's got, and to support him with the team he's got, and let the others, the ones he gets. I mean, I really would like to have got Adama. And I'm sad to hear that he's not coming because I think he would have been a great contributor to the team. But that's my view, guys.
Yeah, and the team seems to be a lot more aggressive than they were last season, didn't they? In terms of just how they seem to attack the opposition, how they were pressing, it seems a lot more coordinated, doesn't it, than maybe last year, where when fitness wasn't maybe at the top of our priorities, and we just didn't seem like we had as much running in us, did it? But it was good to see yesterday us get the ball down and actually play some football as well in and around the penalty area, which we hadn't seen so far this season so much.
Yeah, I mean, we could have got another 2 or 3 goals. I agree with you. I think that, and I think him playing the long ball now, when he plays the long ball, we almost get into the penalty area from the kicks. And I think when you know it's going to happen, you get prepared for it, and they seem to know exactly when it's going to happen, when to do a short pass or when to do a long pass. And I thought the passing was great. I think they when they felt that they were being pressured, they just went into a passing mode and waited. And I thought I really enjoyed it. It was a good game, but I enjoyed it mainly because I could see the change that we've been saying all the time. Nuno is making a huge change to that ability, and he's bringing them back to where they were before the last change of manager.
Grandpa, let me ask you this. Harry Kane obviously had his first start yesterday since, confirming the news he's staying and everything. What kind of reception inside the ground was he getting, and what kind of, was he how happy was everyone to see him back on the pitch?
I think they were pleased. He seemed to be getting a good share. and I hope that, and I believe they should be, because I don't pretend to know who to blame, but I certainly don't blame Kane. I think Kane is a genuine guy. I think he wants to stay at Spurs. The only way he couldn't stay because I think he was not getting the best of the deal with Mourinho. And I mean, after all, he signed the contract in a year before. So he's always wanted to stay. I think with Nuno, he seems to be getting support with him. The fact that Nuno's wants to keep him, I think makes a whole difference. And he certainly was getting plenty of cheers every time he touched the ball virtually. And of course, his 3 goals, everybody went berserk. So 2 goals rather. And he was really, really good. And you just could feel that he wanted to be part of it. He was almost singing when everybody else was singing. It was incredible to watch. And that's the difference when you're actually close to the players and you can actually watch them truly what their feelings are. And that's why I was disappointed with Doherty and Romero, really.
Interesting. I mean, how was the atmosphere in the stadium last night?
The atmosphere was great because the atmosphere was great. I think we were about 60% full, something like that.
Yeah, I think they said on TV it was at about 30,000, about 50% full. So 50%. Not far off.
It's very hard to tell because they had the whole of the north stand was pretty full, which gives it a good sign. The rest was a bit spread.
Yeah.
But it was terrific, and I'm really looking forward to next Sunday.
Yeah. All right, Grandpa.
Looking forward to seeing you Sunday, Grandpa. Yeah. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. Cheers, guys.
Nice one.
Thanks for coming on. Thanks for coming on. Honorary member, you know what I mean? So the pleasure is all ours. Thank you so much for coming on, Grandpa. We'll see you later.
Cheers.
See you.
Cheers, Grandpa.
All right, that is the legend. That is Grandpa Brian. Is there anyone else waiting? All right, so I think that is it for today. The draw for the Conference League is in around half an hour. We've got the draw for the Europa League, actually, and West Ham have been drawn with Dynamo Zagreb, Genk and Rapid Vienna.
Great.
Leicester have got Napoli, Spartak Moscow and Warsaw, and Rangers have got Lyon, Sparta Prague and Brøndby.
West Ham getting out of the group, you reckon?
No. West Ham and Europe don't go. It's like a 3-pin plug. They don't.
The only way they can make it to the group stages is they didn't have to do a playoff. That's the only way they can make it.
Yeah. But like I said, West Ham are like a 3-pin plug. They just don't work in Europe. But look, that is Good Morning Tottenham for today. Thank you everyone for joining us. We are bringing you non-stop content today, so don't you worry about that. Tomorrow we'll be back with some more content too. And I just want to let you know, tomorrow morning we are going live for the Man City Arsenal game on freebets.com. on the freebets.com channel. It's the first watch along that we're doing for this Premier League season on that channel, as well as every week we bring you the Football Weekender. So head over to freebets.com, hit a subscribe on that channel, and also watch the Football Weekender, and come and join us tomorrow morning for the live watch along, and we get to laugh at Arsenal all together. So thank you everyone for joining us. Were you about to say something?
No.
Like, subscribe and comment, and as always, come on you Spurs.